the other. He's like, that Jamie Dimon. When he speaks on Wall Street, the market can get rattled from it. I do think one thing that he will kill, and he will use every ounce of his power to do so. If we had to go back to AP and UPI deciding a national champion, he's not signing up at all for the Big Sky and the Horizon League get a bid like the basketball tournament. I think he wants a world where you have whatever the number is, 4, 8, 12, 16.
A bunch of SEC and a bunch of Big Ten teams.
No, a bunch of at-larges. He doesn't want any tribute to the conference champion from the WAC.
But again, who do those at-larges ultimately favor?
It does. Yes, it does. No question about that, Alex.
And that's what, he's cool with it staying at 4. And for obvious reasons,
I don't blame him. I don't blame him a bit.
I don't blame him one bit either. And you don't get to the position that you're in, that Greg Sankey's in right now as a commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, unless you are an absolute ruthless negotiator. And that's what Greg Sankey is. And I mean, when he gave you that answer, Gabe, to that question, it kind of sent chills down my spine that, no, this guy, he's in a powerful position. He's the commissioner of the most the best football conference in America, and he's going to make sure that conference, now with Texas and Oklahoma, is going to continue to thrive, and nothing gets in the way of it. And the same can be said for the Big Ten. And I don't know if he has a preference one way or another about the Pac-12 or the Big 12, or if it goes to 2 super conferences or not, just as long as the SEC continues to thrive, and there's nothing really that's going to get in the way of that. So when you talk about 8 or 12 or what have you, I think that it would be a fair assessment to think that with no automatic qualifications that the SEC would get it. But guys, the SEC is going to, they're going to get representation one way or another, even if there is a seat at the table for the little guys. So it's kind of splitting hairs, but at this point, I'm just very intrigued to see when all this dust settles, when realignment gets figured out. The college football playoff discussion has been put on the back burner, and that's coming up in a couple years. And let's see what this new format looks like. I am very intrigued by that.
What'd you think about his answer to expansion? He gave us the same answer he gave in the presser on Monday, is that there's no sense of urgency for us to expand, but he did not leave out the possibility of getting that done. All I could think, Al, is if I'm the ACC, if I'm, another conference that has powers that could potentially join the SEC, I'd be pretty. I'd feel those chills you were talking about down my spine.
Well, I think that as long as guys, we're going back to Notre Dame on this. I don't know if you saw the reports out there that the Big 12 is trying to come to some sort of an agreement. This was a couple days ago, but with
the Dennis Dodd report.
TV, the Dennis Dodd's report.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody outside of the SEC and the Big Ten wants Notre Dame to stay independent because, as it stands right now, I think the SEC is very comfortable with where they're at, and I think the Big Ten is very comfortable with where they're at. Now, if Notre Dame decides that they want to go to a conference, that is obviously then everything changes. So I believe him when he says that. I believe Kevin Warren when they say they're not really looking to expand right now because there's no real need to. They're going to be leading the Big Ten, the SEC are going to be leading the way by far in TV revenue. They've never been in a better place financially. They just added between 2 apiece, 2 of the top programs in the country to join their conference. They're feeling just fine. So I don't think that right now they are looking to add, but as you guys have pointed out, that could change. But I don't expect Greg Sankey or the SEC to go out there making a bunch of knee-jerk reactions because I don't think they have to.
Alex, tomorrow Auburn will be here, and we know the offseason that Brian Harsin had to endure. A big early SEC versus Big Ten game will be down on the Plains in the rematch from last year. Auburn played well up at Happy Valley, but James Franklin, Penn State able to get them. Penn State later in the year lost to Arkansas in the bowl game. That's a good SEC versus Big Ten matchup early.
It is, and there are some really nice early season matchups. I'm intrigued to see what Brian Harsin can do in year two in Auburn. It was a mixed bag for sure, and I know there's a lot of questions about that program moving forward. But you're right. I think last year in that contest in Happy Valley, they did put up a decent performance. So. Mm-hmm. I'm ready. I'm ready for. I'm already looking at some of the week one lines. I'm looking at the futures. I'm excited for the fact that there are some really good week one matchups. You mentioned one, of course, Ohio State, Notre Dame as well. And I mean, even the week zero matchup, we get to see if Scott Frost is going to remain at Nebraska or not. It's all dependent on whether they can win against Northwestern in Dublin. So week zero, week one, we're going to start seeing a lot of matchups as far as conferences, even more early season marquee matchups moving forward. So, yeah, I think despite all the turbulence, all the chaos, this college football season is going to be outstanding, and we're going to be moving towards even better ones in the future.
Alex, for you and Gabe's dad and guys around our ages, like your dad and like me, if you would have told us at any point in Nebraska's storied football history, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that maybe the future comes down to a game week zero, Dublin against Northwestern.
I know. Well, I was joking about this. It was a couple months ago where Adrian Martinez transferred from Nebraska, and he transferred to Kansas State. And they asked him why he did it, and he said he wanted to win. And I go, imagine a Nebraska fan go into jail in the late 80s, and then getting out of jail on that day, and that's the first headline they see, and you're like, wait. Excuse me, he's leaving Nebraska to go to Kansas State to win? But, yeah.
Here's the even funnier thing. When he went to jail, Adrian Martinez was quarterbacking.
Yeah, he might have been.
And he just transferred after he got out.
He might have been. He might have been. They've had a bunch of Martinezes in Nebraska. Taylor Martinez, too. Now, this conversation came out of the Penn State-Auburn discussion. I saw a certain Penn State transfer walking around here earlier. Will Levis, and I didn't realize how big the dude was. I mean, he's a physically
big man.
I mean, he's a big guy.
When you see him standing by Tim Tebow at the network desk, it really tells you
he's real big. Now, Alex, I'm curious. You got to see him a little bit when he was at Penn State. Obviously, didn't win the job over Sean Clifford. What do you think about him as a quarterback? And I've seen a lot of early NFL draft discussion around him. Do you think that is first round NFL draft discussion, I should say? Do you think that's warranted?
Look, I like Will Levis, and I think he's a really solid ball player. In fact, I remember Gabe last year. You guys asked me about him and his fit at Kentucky, and I said I think he's going to fit very well into Mark Stoops' offense. He's perfect for it. He's a decent runner, and his throwing is good enough to get by in that offense.
Way better than what they had. Way better than what they had.
I mean, they were playing a receiver at quarterback out of necessity.
And then Terry Wilson. Wilson.
And they still won 8 games with those guys. Right. So I'm like, he's not going to be asked to do too much. He kind of reminds me of Nick Fitzgerald from Mississippi State prior to Nick Fitzgerald tearing his ACL.
That's good, Al.
He's a little more solid than that. I think maybe Fitzgerald was a little bit more elusive. Levis is more of kind of a downhill runner. His throwing might be a smidge better, but I want to see if he can really show some improvement in that area, because I think as of now he's probably truthfully in that third round range as far as like developmental guy. Like I know you see him in the top 10, but if he has a big year, then yes, and shows those improvements, then maybe he can move into that range. But I do think he has a lot to prove on that front.
It goes to show NFL draft discussion is so physical attribute based. I mean, he is all of 6'4", all of 225, and runs all of 4'6", and he's got a cannon.
And remember, this time last year it had Matt Corral going a lot better than he ended up being drafted. And sadly, for the late great Jevin Sneed, at this time they had him going much higher than he ended up going as well. So a lot can change with playing some football.
I got you. Now, Al, we're going to go ahead and let you go. We appreciate you joining us.
Yep. Have a good rest of your time in Atlanta, guys.
We will, Alex. Thank you.
Be easy. At Alex Kuhn 523 is where you can find him on Twitter. His show runs from 4 to 6 Central Time every day. Todd Brommelkamp Show with Alex Kuhn on KGYM Radio in Cedar Rapids. Now, there are a lot of people today that say they will buy your home. There's one company that follows through every single time. When you want to make a deal for real money, go with the real deal guys who will make you money. Go with Quick Close Sell Memphis. Quick Close Sell will respect you with a solid offer. No matter the property, no matter the situation, Quick Close Sell will pay a fair price quickly and easily. For a no-obligation offer, go to QuickCloseSell.com, and Frank will call you right away. That's QuickCloseSell.com before you sell your home. Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we have to talk about the All-Star game last night. AL wins 3-2. Giancarlo Stanton wins MVP.
Home field advantage was riding on it, wasn't it?
No,
Yankees get home field advantage.
Not
Astros?
Not that. We'll discuss when we come back.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
First National Bank and Trust, with its roots in Eastern Arkansas as a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, now firmly in West Tennessee. Eastern Arkansas's largest independently owned bank now in West Tennessee. First National Bank and Trust, with offices at 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, 901-498-5763, and in Collierville. First National Bank and Trust focuses on their clients in the Mid-South with all their banking needs. Personal banking, business banking, and online banking, and the mobile app. Courage and confidence has been displayed by First National Bank and Trust officers throughout its history. In good times and in challenging times, First National Bank and Trust has been recognized as one of the most progressive banking institutions in the country. Commercial, residential, recreational, customers depend on First National Bank and Trust because they know real estate. 901-498-5763. And contact Brooks Winchester or any member of the First National Bank and Trust team.
Progressive presents Don't Do It Yourself.
Okay, fixing a water heater. Easy peasy.
Oh, yeah? So you know how to secure the skiff joint?
Yeah.
Detach the steam pump?
Takes 2 seconds.
And fasten the dew bowl to the pressure tube?
Yeah, my dad taught me how to do that.
Oh, that's interesting, because I made all those things up. Look, we should just bundle our home and auto with Progressive. We could save big, then pay someone to do it for us.
That's cool. This double's the wrong size anyway.
Save when bundling home and auto with Progressive and use the money to, not do it yourself. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. Have you been turned down by your homeowner's insurance in the past 12 months for damage you believe you're owed? Call Brian Elder Roofing now. Our professionals will do a no-obligation, thorough evaluation of your property and document all damage we find. Our fully certified Hague inspectors are trained to identify storm damage to assess and build a full estimate in a language your carrier will understand. If there is no damage found, we will tell you just that. We build a data file of your actual storm damage for your carrier, all at no cost to you, free. So call now for your comprehensive roof guarantee from Brian Elder Roofing. Call us, 867-0303. That's 867-0303. Or schedule online at brianelderroofing.com. Because if you think it's a claim, we'll help you show it's a claim.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Gabe Kuhn here. Join me with Brett Norsworthy for SEC Media Days, July 18th through the 21st at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. Sportstime, where Gabe and Stats will be there with conference insiders, players, and coaches. All-day coverage all week from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. from SEC Media Days.
Brought to you by First National Bank and Trust, Landers Ford and Collierville, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Memphis Tourism, Ronnie Grisani's, Gould's, Belly Acres, The Commissary, Golf Sticks Pretzels, and Quick Close Sell.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
Open the door, sit in the seat, turn the key, and go.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brent Norsworthy.
So last night we had the MLB All-Star Game. No games being played tonight. Tomorrow the action will resume. It's a really thin night in sports.
Brian, help me out.
Really thin. There's nothing.
Any
actually,
minor league games tonight?
Nope.
Anywhere?
No, minor league
basically
kicks
have the
off on
ESPYs.
Friday.
Yeah, their All-Star games go tomorrow night?
I'm not sure. I've just looked around at a couple schedules. It looks like they all start on Friday. The
We
only
basically
game
This is it.
that I know you could bet on today was a WNBA game that started at 11 this morning. So
now here's the real question: Did you bet on it?
I didn't bet on it. If I had known it was at 11 this morning, I would have bet on it, but I didn't know it was tipping off so early.
Would you have won?
I don't know. I didn't look at it too closely to know who I would have bet on. But yeah, I always win.
Understood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. You've never lost, right?
It's easy. Gaming
Ever.
is easy.
Exactly.
You've never lost a bet. Shout out. Good job. They call it winning for you.
Exactly.
You know the old saying. They don't call it winning, they call it betting. It's only winning for you.
Exactly.
That's it.
You're right.
Now, All-Star Game. Did you bet on the All-Star Game last night, actually? Good question.
I did.
Did you win?
I did. I got the under
That's
7.5.
a good bet.
Alan Bell will
bet.
join us Friday at 3:30 in his regular time to talk all things wagering and handicapping. And he was on fire last night on Twitter that baseball, especially in this wave of popularity of wagering, all legal, all on your phone, whatever amount you can handle it, that's up to you. Turn that night into a betting bonanza. Baseball could do it. That baseball All-Star Game last night should be an opportunity for younger people to tune in.
Right.
And instead, Manfred tries too hard to make it groovy and cool, and
I thought it was solid, though. I thought it was solid. I thought the
those
game,
uniforms.
I wish they would just
Ridiculous.
go back to wearing their regular uniforms.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know. I thought the uniforms were – I mean, they were snazzy. I'm not going to act like they weren't. I just still think I prefer regular uniform. White and gray.
I love the rainbow of colors in different hats and uniforms.
I agree.
And last night, I mean, it was stock. It was
But
one size
before
fit
the
all.
game, they had the ode to Jackie Robinson's
Very nice.
75th
Very
anniversary. They had Denzel Washington up there give a little address. I thought that was cool. Nestor Cortez sort of gave the ode to Fernando Valenzuela with that wacky delivery, which was really
baseball
cool.
should honor Jackie Robinson and Hank Aaron every day.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. But AL wins 3-2. 9th in a row. 19 of 22 since 2000. In my lifetime, the AL has absolutely...
That's where the stars have been. You think all those Yankee stars from
There's been some stars in the NL too, though. Albert Pujols was there
But you think of that early 2000 run. Griffey Jr. was over there with Seattle.
Right.
So he went to Cincinnati. But Jeter and A-Rod and all those
all
teams,
the Yankees, right
up to today.
And the NL has had enough to be able to win more than 3 in 22 years.
That's
ridiculous.
This dynastic run by the AL is bigger than what the National League had, and for a long time, it's like Super Bowls. Forever, the AFC could not win a Super Bowl, and then they got on a run and had domination.
Mm-hmm. But it was 2-0 after the first inning. Paul Goldschmidt showed up. I'll give him his
Gold
credit.
bomb.
Hit a bomb. But then in the fourth, it was Giancarlo Stanton hitting the 2-run bomb, who he ended up getting the MVP, and then Byron Buxton back-to-back knocking one out. Byron Buxton, I don't know if he gets enough credit. And maybe it's because he plays for the Twins. Maybe it's because he's not a household name yet.
He's not playing when we're asleep.
And yes, he's gotten
Central
hurt
time
too.
zone.
He's gotten hurt the past few years, so he hadn't been on the field as much. But when we talk about raw talent and guys when they're on the field, the production they put out, the power, everything, Byron Buxton has it all.
Well, I was watching.
He's up there from a talent perspective with Mike Trout.
I was watching and thinking if the National League held on 2-0, Goldie would be MVP. And Bryant, you're going to have to look it up for me. I'm embarrassed. I don't know. the last time a Cardinal player was MVP of the All-Star game?
Oh, gosh.
Maybe Stan the Man?
I don't know.
Maybe Wally Moon?
Wally Moon.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Good old Wally Moon.
That far back. Help me out, Bryant, because I was thinking, I should have looked it up last night, but I was too busy stuffing my face at the party.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. Last Cardinal MVP of the All-Star game. Whew. If it's not Stan the Man, it's going to be a throwback name.
That's a while back. Did you see after the game? And it was a tearjerker, honestly.
Oh man,
the Clayton Kershaw presser. He was
Fields got going.
He was stopped by a young child.
I like Clayton.
And the child's grandfather had a bucket list, and meeting Clayton Kershaw was on it. And his grandpa passed away from cancer recently. But yesterday, Blake Grice, the kid, met Kershaw at his post-game presser. I was about. I mean. It really was emotional. And I know, like a lot of people, you see these videos, and some people could be detached. They see a lot of these type of things. That one was
very nice.
That one was very, very nice by Clayton Kershaw. Now, before we get to the second hour, it's been a great first hour. Before we get to second hour, let me tell you about one of the great places, the great place to get barbecue in the city of Memphis. If you don't know it by now, here you go. Central Barbecue, where smoke is their sauce. They have 4 locations, open daily for lunch and dinner. Midtown, downtown, Summer, and the one I always show up to that you can order delivery from, the Poplar location. It's new. It's fantastic. And now, I always start with the smoked wings. You can get them honey gold, dry spice, jerked, whatever you want. The sausage and cheese plate's another good option. They have just so many good options at Central Barbecue. When you get to the main course, go get the brisket, go get the pork, go get the turkey. The turkey's the greatest. They have the best turkey in Memphis, maybe in the country. But go get all of that, and plus the sides. They have gluten-free options. They have vegetarian options as well. And if you need to get that thing sent anywhere, you want to send some good barbecue to your friends, to your family in a different location that doesn't get good barbecue all the time, go to eatcbq.com and click the shipping tab. Again, eatcbq.com. Click the shipping tab, and then catering. 15 or more people, call this number, 901-527-9990, 901-527-9990. But those locations, every day, for lunch and dinner, Midtown, which is on Central Avenue, downtown by the Civil Rights Museum, one on Summer, and the one you can pop in and see me at, that is Poplar. But Central Barbecue, smoke is their sauce. Hour number 2 is on the way. We have some golf to get to next. We have some live to discuss. We have to talk about Cam Smith and what he did last Sunday. We bring on John Goen next.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with all the hottest brands in golf at the best prices, featuring tailor-made Stealth Carbon woods and irons, Callaway's Rogue ST collection of woods and irons, Titleist's T-Series irons and Vokey wedges, and Ping's G425 woods and irons. All this and more at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Swing by and receive a free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Got chronic joint pain? Not having success with steroids, but trying to avoid surgery? Well, thankfully, there's a better way. And it's now available here from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Hi, this is Greg Gaston. I'm talking about new therapies, advanced all-natural biologics, regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue, providing lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in precision regenerative medicine with over 100 clinics across America and literally thousands of satisfied patients. If you've got joint pain due to arthritis, knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, don't just think the old ways of dealing with pain are the only ways. You need to learn more about these new biologic therapy options that can change your life. Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation with local medical professionals. Call 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics, 901-445-1010.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles, ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Brett Norsworthy here. Join me with Gabe Kuhn for SEC Media Days, July 18th through the 21st at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. Sports Time with Gabe and Stats will be there with conference insiders, players, and coaches. All-day coverage all week long from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. from SEC Media Days. Brought to you by First National Bank and Trust, Landers Ford in Collierville, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Memphis Tourism, Ronnie Grizzani's, Ghouls, Belly Acres, The Commissary, Golf Sticks Pretzels, and Quick Close Sale.
How do you grow your business without spending more on credit card fees? Call Blake Jones, your local Mid-South Advanced Merchant Services representative. He works with your business to help it grow instantly. Small business owners already have enough cost. Let Blake Jones help you lower your credit card processing cost risk-free. Absolutely no cost to you, the small business owner. Call 662-408-9324. That's 662-408-9324. Call Blake Jones today and start saving money tomorrow.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Dad, come on, you're going to fall on the barbecue.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2 is here. Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. I'm Gabe, he's Stats. Brian Dake is back in the Family Leisure Studios producing the program. We are in Atlanta for SEC Media Days. It is day 3, one more day ahead of us, but we have to thank all of our terrific sponsors: First National Bank and Trust, Landers Ford in Collierville, Jason's Deli, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Memphis Tourism, Ronnie Grizzani's, Gould's, Belly Acres, The Commissary, Golf Sticks Pretzels, and Quick Close Sell. But now it's time to talk some golf. Let's bring in John Goen from Timber Trust for some picks and some golf talk. John, what's happening?
Guys, I'm sorry, I missed that. So you said you're in Charlotte for ACC Media Days, right? ACC.
No, John, we're not covering your beloved Virginia Tech Hokies.
Brent Pry was looking forward to taking questions from y'all. I know that.
And I love me some Brent Pry back when he was D-line coach for Tommy West at the University of Memphis. But no, we're not there. John, as a proud Virginia Tech alum, how quickly would you accept an SEC membership offer?
Well, I mean, I think in today's day and age, you probably accept it somewhat quickly. It's I don't know. It's going to be an interesting time on multiple fronts from an ACC perspective as far as where things go as we continue to change the landscape of what college football is. But we're just kicking off ACC Media Days today, and I think Coach Pry is on the slate for tomorrow, and so it'll be interesting to kind of see where his tone is at. Obviously, a lot of positive buzz after the last 5 or 6 years of the Justin Fuente era to get a guy who was a GA back in the Bud Foster, Frank Beamer era, and really kind of just see where the program's going to go. A lot of focus on recruiting in the state of Virginia, which has been a huge buzz for a lot of the alumni and fans of Virginia Tech. So he's off to a good start. Definitely a lot more engaged. Obviously, the people
0-0 is a great time to be a head coach.
Well, you don't want to ever be the guy who follows the guy, and Justin Fuente was the guy who followed the guy, and so it's.
I know I'm surprised it didn't work out, though. I know I'm really surprised it didn't work out. Are you surprised that that didn't become a sort of the next great era there at Virginia Tech?
I probably a little bit. I mean, look, the mantra at Virginia Tech for decades was all about defense and obviously when you had Michael Vick. When you had Michael Vick, it obviously changed a little bit. The offense could support what was going on, but I mean, for decades under Bud Foster, I mean, you had just an unbelievable defense, and so as you did get the guy ultimately what Babcock was looking at, you became much more offensively focused, but your defense suffered for it, and then clearly Justin. Look, I personally think, as a somewhat, trying to be retrospective or outside looking in, I mean, I just think Justin had some really, really bad luck. I would be curious to see if Gerard Evans would have stayed, another year as opposed to going to get drafted and then not really getting drafted. Right. Obviously he had a bunch of guys leave, early in his tenure, the Edmonds twins or the Edmonds brothers and stuff like that. Obviously they were both first-round draft picks, first time ever. You had, first-round draft picks out of the same school that were brothers. So I just think Justin had some bad luck. And then, clearly he had some recruiting struggles and did not recruit within the footprint of where his strength should have been. I mean, he went well outside to Texas and other places. Look, we're not here. I have officially bored every fan of what listens to the show right now.
Not at all.
It was a great.
Not at all. I think you're dead on.
And John, I was going to say, if Virginia Tech ever did join the SEC, most of these stadiums, I know you'd go to a lot of games, but most of these stadiums would not be new for you because I run into you and Christine out at the SEC. So because y'all love going.
Look, we enjoy going to football games. Regardless, I think I'm actually going to go to my first state game in Starkville this year at some point. I've not had an opportunity to go down there yet, so to experience the cowbells and things along those lines should be interesting. I'm still trying to get to Blacksburg at some point this year. I'm trying to pinpoint between a couple of ball games as to where I'm going to be able to maybe try to get home and see a football game, But yeah, no, I mean, look, we enjoy it. We obviously are season ticket holders for the University of Memphis as well, and we appreciate having the opportunity to go and support the Tigers here locally and everything. But yeah, clearly we're looking forward to the football season here in the next, we're under 50 days now, so excited and ready to get going.
Meet me in Starkville week 1. I'll be there. We can make that trip to
Tigers
Starkville.
Dogs.
Yeah, we can make that happen. But
we have toyed around with that one.
Yeah, talking with John Goen from Timber Trust Golf. On to golf discussion, and we'll get to the Open Championship before we actually get to this live stuff. Cam Smith on Sunday, that was unreal to see what he was doing. Back 9, 5 birdies to start it. He was just hot as he could be, and he did it mostly, in my opinion, watching with his putter.
No, absolutely. I mean, he was the best putter in the field by far. He showed it on Friday, did not have a great round on Saturday, and then obviously came back Sunday. I mean, first player to shoot 64 and win a major. It's unfortunate. I think that Rory would have benefited from a different pairing that day, from that perspective. I think that both of them were way too comfortable. Victor Hovland being in his first real contention in a major, I would be willing to bet. A buddy of mine and I were texting back and forth Sunday morning, and he sent me a text saying that if Rory shot 69, he's going to win. And I'm like, I'm not quite sure about that. And sure enough, I mean, Rory could have shot 69. He still would have lost by a shot. So, but I think that what happened, I feel what happened is that, when you get a 4-shot lead in a major, and especially on a golf course that outside of a wind-blown round of golf, you've not shot anything in the 70s. As much as Rory talked about process and being patient, I think that the process and being patient cost him. When especially when you got a guy whose putter could get as hot as Cameron Smith did, is when you birdie the first 5 holes going in the back 9. The putts that Cam Smith made are the putts that Rory missed, and ultimately, if Rory would have putted, I think halfway decent, I think he does win that golf tournament. But Rory, when Rory parred 14, I just really felt that he was in a substantial amount of trouble. It was an opportunity for him to get back to even with Cam at that point in time, because I think Cam had just taken the lead, to my recollection. Rory really needed to make birdie on 14, the only par 5 on the back 9. And then again, had a great opportunity on 17 to make one of the rare birdies. So then that way he's not putting so much pressure on having to do something on 18. Doesn't hit a great drive on 18. Really, really thought he should have been able to drive that green, especially the way Cam Young did in the group in front of him. Didn't hit a great shot, kind of flared it a little bit, hit a soft little draw or fade. But he was hitting fades most of the afternoon, although he was hitting it out there with where Cam Young was at. But, again, to where you were originally at, Gabe, I mean, Cam Smith put on an unbelievable performance, and, he really had a chance to back up on 17 on the road hole, where he hit a terrible drive, hit a terrible second shot. It's an unbelievable putt just to the right of the road hole bunker, and then makes a great 10-12 footer. But that's what he had been making all afternoon, and at that point in time, you really couldn't feel that he was going to miss anything. Very, very similar to how he played at the Players Championship. Just a putting exhibition, and very impressive under the circumstances on a Sunday afternoon.
John Cameron Smith joins Matthew Fitzpatrick and Scotty Scheffler, his first-time major winners for 2022. We're done with the majors. 3 out of 4. Justin Thomas wins at the PGA. We've had a lot of firsties over the last few years. We're only going to see more. We had 2 out of the 4 major winners this year be international players. It just speaks to the depth and the breadth of golf worldwide. They're coming at you at every angle.
I mean, you can't argue with that point, and everybody under the age of 30, which is even more impressive at this point. You continue to talk about the youth movement in golf, so I think that this is where we're at. There's a substantial amount of parity. Anybody can win on a weekly basis, and clearly now, with a Players Championship win and a major, Cam Smith has really thrown his name dead into the center of the conversation for Player of the Year, as much as we gave it to Scotty Scheffler 2 months ago. I think that Cam Smith now has firmly thrown his name into the middle of the ring for Player of the Year.
All right, Live Golf stuff. Henrik Stenson joins Live Golf today. I think he will no longer serve as the European Ryder Cup captain that he was before.
Well, they stripped him of that immediately.
Here's the big thing, though. I think it was either yesterday or 2 days ago. David Faraday from NBC, been there since 2015, does a good job. A lot of people like him. He's going to join Live. It just feels like, and it's been this way the whole time, whether people wanted to pay attention or not. It just feels like the ball keeps rolling downhill, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I just don't know if anybody's going to be there to stop this downhill collection they're getting.
You got Stenson today, you got Kokrak, and you got Charles Howe III, which I know is Pat Donahue's favorite golfer.
No kidding! Wow, I didn't know it.
He supports the rendezvous.
Yeah.
So from what I got a text from a buddy today, it was Stenson, Kokrak, and Charlie 36 that all have joined Live.
Well, that'd knock Hal out of our tournament in August, then, wouldn't it? because he's inside the top 125.
You would tend to think that that's going to take him out.
Oh.
Yes.
Man, I hate that because I really like him, and you're right. He's tight with Pat, and John, it just feels like with the Faraday announcement, we got a big network or big TV, maybe streaming announcement coming soon.
The momentum,
maybe Tour Championship week, because they always seem to time some of these big announcements to make it really hurt for the Tour.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to wonder at this point, right? I mean, you know, is it, you know, I don't know. I mean, from a platform perspective, you know, if you stay on streaming, you're always going to face challenges. You know, but, you know, does a YouTube TV, you know, somehow within their platform, is it a Hulu? Is it, an Apple TV or somebody along those lines? I mean, clearly
Right.
Apple TV's already picked up Major League Baseball. So you've got that platform. I don't know how much that grows their viewership exposure. But the other side of that, too, I mean, to what we've been talking about here for the last few weeks, and that is, you know, is there somebody like a Fox or something that is going to jump into the fray here that is, you know, now going to open up the viewership and give people an opportunity to watch what, you know, Live Golf is truly going to be about. And you know, let's face it, again this week, I mean, with where the Tour is at the 3M Open, you know, field doesn't blow your doors off. And if you know, would have kind of thrown out who you've got this week, I mean, you got to think you're going to have a better strength of field than where the PGA Tour is going to be this week. You know, and then, of course, we didn't touch on it, but the interesting part is the dance around the question from Cam Smith on Sunday as to whether he could potentially leave the Tour and join Live Golf and join a guy who has been, you know, a hero, an idol, or whatever as he was growing up, and Greg Norman and Cam Smith joins the Live Golf Tour. So there's another one that's been rumored out there. No more buzz than obviously coming off of him winning his Open championship and them collecting yet another major winner and continuing to put pressure on RNA, Augusta National, PGA of America, and the USGA as to, you know, what are they going to do with these guys as they continue to compete at this level.
John, inescapable how hot it is, but we know you got the scramble tomorrow night, open all weekend. Well, I know that a lot of the preferred early tee times for Saturday and Sunday probably already gobbled up and later to try to dodge the heat a bit. I know you encourage everyone to really hydrate. Stop by the pro shop, by the food and beverage area to make sure to stay plenty hydrated and have fun. But tell our listeners how they can have fun this week and the rest of the summer and into football season at Timber Trust Golf in Olive Branch.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Brett, I mean, it's Wednesday when I left just a short time ago. I mean, we had only 2 spots open for tomorrow night. So we continue to sell out every single Thursday night, which is just continued to be incredible. The amount of support and clearly how much people enjoy coming out on Thursday nights and kind of kicking the weekend off early with our 2-man scramble. But just 2 spots left last I was aware of. Those could have obviously filled up in the last hour or so since leaving the golf course. Still some good tee times available for the weekend. We got a few things kind of going on over the span of this weekend, but, still some good tee times. To your point, the early ones are pretty much kind of taken. Golf course is in good shape. Did just a few, normal agronomic things this week. Benton Greens just trying to give, with all the heat, the opportunity for the greens to kind of get some water a little bit, deeper into the mix and retain some moisture a little bit better as we continue to battle these hot temperatures. But, happy to get the rain we got on Monday. Golf course has really kind of rebounded a little bit. In order to book your tee time, you can call us 662-895-3530. You can visit us at sports56golf.com. But should be a good weekend for golf. As again, we continue to be in good shape. It's kind of that time of year, and especially going into the fall, we've got outdoor patio seating areas for you folks that don't necessarily have the opportunity to make it to your football game. We've got 3 TVs, we've got a sound system. We've really kind of been looking at this whole tailgate concept, and if you can't make it to your ball game, bring your tents, bring your tailgate and stuff out to Timber Trust, play some golf in the morning. Let's watch game day and everything else.
Great
and try to hang around and watch football throughout the course of the day. So, but again, really look forward to the best time of year to be able to play golf, and can't be happier with how things are at. And 662-895-3530 or timbertrustgolf.com, and you can book your tee time.
Golf and football and tailgating at Timber Trust this fall. Might have to catch an open date and get down there with you, John. All right, golf pick time. We're at TPC Twin Cities, in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis at Blaine, Minnesota, just northeast of downtown Minneapolis. For the 3M, up first, Gabe, and then John, and then me, and then first place after a tour de force performance last weekend, Bryant Dacus will pick last. Gabe, you're up.
What an unfortunate spot to be in.
Any two you want.
What an unfortunate spot to be. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I've gotten here, but give me Sahith Tagala.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir.
Bryant, that's cold, isn't it?
That's very cold. After
That
weeks
is
of telling
called
me I
jet
stole
lag.
his pick.
Yeah.
That is called jet lag and a trunk slammer, and he won't make the cut.
Oh, there you have it. John, go on your
Wow.
pick. Sorry, Gabe.
Jeez.
The funny part of this whole thing, guys, is that literally, like, every single week, we talk about 4 o'clock, and, I get a phone call. It might be right around 4. It might be a little after. Da, da, da. This week in particular, right? All of a sudden,
right,
a little before 4 o'clock, the phone rings. And Brian's on the phone, and I'm like, so all of a sudden you win a little bit, and the phone call comes on the early side of the break, not the late side of the break.
Yeah, right.
He's ready.
You could hear it. You could hear his smile.
We're just
through
ready
the
for
phone.
golf
I
talk.
hear you.
He has
that
never
grin he had
been
on his
more
face.
excited to talk about golf than he was this week, for crying out loud. And literally, he just gets involved in picks. He doesn't really even comment during our segment. That's the crazy part.
What a week last week, though. $6.5 million in 1 week.
It was impressive.
That's a picking record, right? That's got to be a
it's up there.
It's so funny because Brett always talks about how Xander Schauffele breaks his heart. Like Rory McIlroy this week for me was just an absolute, devastating heartbreak. He goes from first to third because Cam Young makes eagle on the 18th hole.
Yep.
I mean, it was
cost you first.
It was heartbreaking, but that's long drawn out. I'm going to take Cam Davis.
Cam Davis, good pick. Leaves me with, I take Hideki Matsuyama.
Oh, it's my pick now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Your pick on the
Tony Finau.
Okay.
Back
Shortest
to
odds.
I didn't know
Really
that.
went out on a
Wow.
limb there.
Wish
nice
you hadn't
job.
told me that.
Well done. I'm gonna go with. All right. Your 2 picks were you had in your FanDuel spot. You did Tagala and you did Maverick McNeely. I can't take both of your picks. I'm gonna go JT Poston. Give me JT Poston.
Played well at the John Deere a few weeks ago. John?
I was going to say, didn't he take him a couple weeks ago? It feels like
I think it was Brian.
Brian had him.
Brian had him.
Oh, Brian stole him from me. That's right. Brian stole him from me.
I didn't steal anything.
Yeah. That's when all of a sudden you turned into his golf guy. You guys had a little conversation on the side.
Exactly.
Brian, of course, is sitting cellar dweller, similar to where you're at, and then all of a sudden it's oh, by the way,
he
I'm
takes
gonna
my
take
picks.
JT Poston. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Funny
He's
how
been sneaky that way this whole season. He's been
Not
sneaky
true.
that way.
Not true.
We gotta start looking over our shoulder at Brian.
I'm telling you. I will take Brendan Steele.
Brendan Steele leaves me with, I will take a guy that was good to me and helped me at the PGA with double money. I'll take Tom Hoagie. Brian.
I will take Davis Riley.
Davis Riley it is. So that's the picks for the 3, and we're getting close to Memphis golf time. John Goen, you have a great weekend. Stay cool. I know you will warn everybody to do that, and we will visit next week and have golf picks and golf talk then. And we know Liv will be the gift that keeps on giving. Thank you, John.
John, appreciate it.
Guys, thanks so much. You are absolutely right. It'll be interesting between now and next Wednesday as to who else is going to get paid a lot of money to leave the PGA Tour and go play a smaller schedule. So y'all have a good week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy golf, and we'll look forward to next Wednesday.
You got it, John. Thank you so much. John Goen with us every week from Timber Trust Golf, talking all things in the golf world, and there's a lot going on in the golf world. Very close to his place is a Gould's location. So many great locations from downtown to out east to Collierville to Olive Branch. Gould's, they have that style, that flair wherever we need to go in our area. 90 years of distinction, 300 associates making our life feel so very good. It's exclusive to our area, and the best gift, the best holiday gift, the best color, the best size, it's the Gould's gift card. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com to find out more about that. That's where you can purchase that card, and that will make for the perfect gift. Gould's Salon and Spa, they've been turning heads since 1932.
We are live on Radio Row in Atlanta in the College Football Hall of Fame for SEC Media Days. It is day 3, so Georgia, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Florida got to speak today. Coming up next, we get the Georgia side of things. We bring on Anthony Dasher.
You have opinions?
You bet.
Of course you do. Everyone does. Hit us up on the AutoZone listener line, 360-8255, 360-8255.
So by now you've heard that Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect neighborhood bar downtown, has reopened. You've heard that it's a perfect spot with the coldest beer in town, great cocktails, the friendliest bartenders anywhere, and even access to the menu at 117 Prime. But here's something you might not know. Since the easiest way to get into Bell Tavern is to enter through the dining room at 117 Prime, that means you can also avail yourself of the valet parking from Prime. How cool is that? You can go to a great, comfortable bar, and you don't even have to mess with parking. Plus, there's just something so cool about valet parking to a bar.
Memphis's oldest restaurant, Colette's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And after 99 years, I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Colette's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Colette's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Colette's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Colette's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Colette's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Colette's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with all the hottest brands in golf at the best prices, featuring tailor-made stealth carbon woods and irons. Callaway's Rogue ST collection of woods and irons, Titleist's T-Series irons and Vokey wedges, and Ping's G425 woods and irons. All this and more at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Swing by and receive a free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Some of the lawyers who advertise on TV say size matters. Well, at the law office of Steve Leffler, they believe size matters too. That's because when you hire the law office of Steve Leffler personally handles your case. With the big firms, you get whoever they hand your file over to, whether you know anything about them or not. When you hire Steve Leffler, you get Steve Leffler. And oh yeah, just like the big firms, you only pay Steve Leffler if he wins your injury case. Hire Steve Leffler, get Steve Leffler.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
How do you want that cooked? Run to a crisp or bloody as hell?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
And the hell
Welcome back to our coverage of Day 3 of SEC Media Days. We're in the College Football Hall of Fame, and we are joined by Anthony Dasher. He's the managing editor of UGAsports.com covering Georgia. You can follow him on Twitter at Anthony Dasher1. Anthony, how have you enjoyed your time so far? Good to see you.
Been busy like it is every time, this year at Media Days.
National champions, though, it makes it even more fun, doesn't it? More coverage?
I guess it does. To me, it's all the same. But, I know for the players, and I know Coach Smart, the questions have certainly been a little bit different this year than they have been in previous seasons.
Anthony, around the SEC championship game last year and then the rematch, you take it any way you can get it. But didn't Georgia have to go through Alabama and vanquish them, slay the mighty Tide? Doesn't that almost kind of count double for them?
I don't know if it counts double, but that's something they certainly had to do to win. I think, not just Georgia, but really any team in the conference. I mean, if you want to be the champion and be the top dog, for pardon the pun there, you got to, slay that dragon. You got to beat Nick Saban, and that's what Georgia was able to find a way to do last year.
And now it comes down to, we talk about all the time on the show, two programs that have done it better than anybody else over the past decade, and even in the 21st century, of reloading year after year. That's Ohio State and that's Alabama. Georgia finally got to the top. Do you think with all they lost on the defensive side of the ball, they will reload and be right back in the same position this year?
Well, they lost a lot of experience, and, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that what they've got this year is going to maybe produce the same results that the last year defense did, which I think, pretty much everyone agrees was a generational type defense. But they've got good players again. I mean, Georgia's done a great job recruiting. That's been, Kirby Smart's main deal since he first, took the job. And I mean, you're still going to be talking about, high 4-star, 5-star players. Some of the most recruited, kids in the country just don't have a lot of experience. And that's what he talked about a lot today was they've got the talent. These guys can play football. I just have not played a lot of it in the SEC right now.
And one of the messages I love to hear from him today, and you've heard it from him consistently, he talks about talent winning championships. He takes the recruiting trail it's more important to him than a lot of guys around the country. And I think he's looking for that level of sustainability. But he said 95 guys on NIL deals, trying to take advantage of the NIL opportunities and bring guys in.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the way of the world right now. I know yesterday Nick Saban spoke about the fact, I think he quoted what a number of just over $3 million that Alabama players were able to earn last year. And while Coach Smart earlier today did not reveal the total number that Georgia players are getting right now, like you said, he did mention the fact that 95 guys have benefited from the NIL, and the fact that 3 guys last year. I mean, Jordan Davis, Brock Bowers, and Kelly Ringo were probably when it's all said and done, were probably the benefited the most from their respective positions as anybody in the country. So that's definitely part of it. But I don't think it's the ultimate, thing as far as, why players should go to a school. But it's doing a lot of good things. I mean, Coach Smoot also mentioned the fact Micah Morris, who was a backup offensive lineman, was able to take his NIL money and send his dad, who was on dialysis, down near Jacksonville.
Very serious.
A guy like Dan Jackson, who is still a walk-on, was able to help pay for his education through NIL. So there's probably more good things than bad things that's being talked about with NIL. But the fact that you had Nick Saban come on against Jimbo Fisher, and a lot have been made of recruits, picking schools because of how much money they can make from it. It's kind of two different conversations. That's the part that I think coaches need to be kind of figured out to have a more balanced playing field as long as that goes. But I think NIL is a very good thing for the very reasons I just mentioned.
Anthony, maybe I should have. I failed to because I covered Kirby in the day as a defensive back at Georgia and loved him as a player. He was born to be the head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah. But I would love to ask him, Coach, what do you think your NIL valuation would have been in the day?
That's a good question. I'm not sure back in the late 90s there.
Maybe not as much as Brock Bowers.
No, not as much as Brock, I can promise you that.
Yeah, and speaking of Brock Bowers and speaking of really what's going to happen X's and O's wise offensively, they are tight end heavy. I mean, you're going to have Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington, Eric Gilbert still in the fold.
Yeah.
It just seems like they're going to be 12, 13, 14 personnel. They're going to use a lot of tight ends, and those guys are going to be productive.
No doubt about it. I'm very interested to see what Todd Monken comes up with. But from people I've talked to, he's been kind of like a mad scientist, kind of designing something to perhaps, like you said, get all three guys on the field at the same time. And that is, if that were the case, even one of those guys, Brock Bowers by himself is a defensive nightmare.
Yes.
I mean, he's impossible for one guy to try to cover. But when you throw in 6'7", 260, Darnell Washington, who can run. You throw in Eric Gilbert, who, believe it or not, when he came back to school in January, was at 300 pounds.
Really?
He got down by G-Day. He was back down to 365, and I believe he's back right now probably around 350, 345, somewhere in that range. So
I'm
sorry, 240, 245. My bad, my brain's scrambled right now. It's been a long couple of days.
Clarify.
But no problem. But again, Oscar Delp is another kid.
Right.
They've got freshmen. They've got some other guys too that have been in the program for a few seasons. But they're definitely got a lot of talent there. I know they plan on utilizing the best they can.
Kirby Smart was hired to do what Mark Richt couldn't complete.
Yeah.
Fine man, a lot of winning. Georgia fans, Georgia boosters, they wanted it all.
Yeah.
Kirby got it. Have you? I know he's not, but still hungry as.
Oh yeah.
No complacency.
No complacency. I know there's a little bit came out yesterday from the thing he was speaking to the Texas High School, Coaches Association meeting, and he was asked, because last June was not this year, but the year before last, very hectic time. Teams were at that point were being allowed to have their coming off of COVID, were able to be able to practice, practice throughout that whole mini camp throughout that whole month. You combine that with the fact that that's also the busiest time for recruiting. You've got guys coming in taking official visits, unofficial visits, and they were trying to do all that at one time. And then Coach Smart was asked what it was like. He said, "Man, about just kind of throw out a comment like I'm, like we're talking right here, like it's tough. I almost quit." And he wasn't being serious. Trust me. Again, we spoke to him earlier today, and I can promise you the fire still burns very intently.
Right.
For Kirby Smart, and he's a lot of what happened yesterday was just a overblown story.
But Matt Luke did step away.
He did step away, yeah.
I know.
And it is an issue
Matt
for
well,
some. Yeah.
Really good coach.
Yeah.
Comfortable in his own skin.
Yep.
And Ashley, they want to be parents. Do you think we will see? Never mind the old guard guy. Do you think we could see a young guy after this year go, I've had enough, NIL, portal, everything, it's a little much?
It's tough. I mean, a
lot of money banked for them.
Sports writers like to think they put in some difficult dollars, but you look at what these top-flight college coaches have to do, spending, 12, 13, 14 hours a day, 6 days, sometimes even 7 days a week at their, place of work, and I don't see how they do it. I mean, that's kind of the cost of business, so to speak, but it's difficult. And I applaud Matt Luke for what he did. He's got his kids, if I'm not mistaken, are about to be teenage boys right now, and I know they're both heavily involved in sports, and Matt wants to be a part of that. So great for him. I think that's outstanding.
He's a good soul. A good O-line coach.
Hell of an O-line coach.
Yeah.
Hell of an O-line coach. Always had his groups going in the right direction. Now, as far as the staff is concerned, there was a little bit of turnover.
Yep.
Dan Lanning
coaches.
off to Oregon.
Yep.
And you're going to have Muschamp and Schumann in there as co-defensive coordinators. Do you think that it's going to be similar, maybe a little bit different? Or what's your sort of take on the coaching switch?
It'll be very similar. Even last year, I mean, all the defensive coaches, they collaborate. I mean, that's not just one man at Georgia on Georgia's defense making the calls.
And Kirby's pretty
you got
good
Kirby
himself,
Smart, who's done this forever.
Yeah.
So it's you do have several cooks in the kitchen, but I think that everybody's on the same page. Everybody, again, collaborates on what they want to do, and I do think ultimately probably going to see Will, I guess, calling the plays on game day. You're not going to see anything, I think, really different. I think Will's style of play is very similar to what Dan Lanning's was last year. You're not going to be seeing Georgia do a ton different.
Will Muschamp can finish sentences that Kirby Smart starts. They've been simpatico for 35 years.
Yeah,
they really have. I mean, that's a good way to put it. I mean, they have been friends, for 30 something years now.
I bet both were in both weddings.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Mike Bobo too. I mean,
exactly.
They're all college buddies. remain friends throughout. I mean,
I wouldn't bet they were best men for each, probably dads or brothers or something, but they were in them.
They were no question about it. They I think their families maybe at one point, I don't know if they still do a vacation together, that kind of thing. So
yeah,
very, very close.
Now, last thing for our man Anthony Dasher, Stetson Bennett.
Yep.
National championship winning quarterback, unbelievable last year, and we know his popularity at this point. I saw him today. I mean, he was just mobbed when he got questions from the press. What's it like around Athens for him at this point? My gosh,
he can pretty much get whatever he wants. I mean, pretty much like any quarterback who does anything in the SEC. But he's having a good time. I mean, and it's well deserved. I mean, he's a modern day Rudy. I think he really is. And you talk about a former walk-on 2-star.
Blue Stetson Bennett, national champion quarterback.
But Buck when he came out was a highly regarded quarterback.
Sure was.
Stetson Bennett. I mean, probably not many people give you this laptop right here for him coming to their school. But what he did to lead Georgia to a title when people were saying he's too short, too small, his arm's not strong enough, this, that, and the other.
Do something.
Isn't it a little weird, though? I mean, of all the talent, you had Matt Stafford come through. You had a bunch of guys with a bunch of talent come through University of Georgia, and Stetson Bennett's the one who gets him over.
Jake Fromm was good.
Right, Jake Fromm.
I think you look at what he's had around him, though. I mean, while, offensively, again, Stetson has some very good weapons. I mean, you look at the entire team Georgia had last year, that defense, I mean, that helped Stetson a lot, too. He didn't have to really do a ton. This year, I think he's going to need to do a lot more. But I think Georgia's offense is in a position this year to do a lot more. They've got a lot of experience coming back. They don't lose a whole lot on the offensive line. We've already talked about the tight end. Their running back room is deep again. The wide receivers are older, I think better. I think Georgia could be a very exciting offensive team this year.
Ultimate team sport. It has to be a symphony. It cannot be a jazz band.
And no question about it. And Todd Monken, I think, is a very good conductor of that offense, and he's got those guys, I think, right now playing to their strengths. He's going to put in some new wrinkles this year. I think it's going to be very interesting, again, with those three tight ends.
He is Anthony Dasher from UGAsports.com. Anthony, appreciate you coming by.
My pleasure.
Appreciate Anthony Dasher stopping by UGAsports.com at Anthony Dasher1 on Twitter if you'd like to follow his work. So for Georgia this year, it's bizarre. Last year you talk about that defense, but best in the country, the reason they won the national championship. I feel like offensively there's less questions. Offensively, there's less questions about what they're going to be. They have Brock Bowers, who was their leading receiver last year, even as a tight end. Darnell Washington's coming back. Eric Gilbert is going to be in the fold. I think as far as a wide receiver core is concerned, George Pickens is out, but he didn't really play much last year. Adonai Mitchell was solid. Ladd McConkey solid. Kyrus Jackson coming back for a redshirt senior year. Offensively, I think this Georgia team is comfortable, but defensively, I think there's going to be questions.
They rode defense last year, might have to, especially early this year, ride the offense a little bit. The Vegas over-under win total number for Georgia is at 11.5. Gabe Kuhn, where do you put your cash?
I go under.
I go over.
You think they're undefeated? Is that right?
It's the only way you can win.
It's just tough. It's just tough.
Same for Bama, 11.5.
I
12-0.
I don't know. I don't know if defensively the first few games are going to be locked in. Now,
I think I just gave away my picks
see.
at 5:30 tomorrow when we do
that is true.
East and West.
And
that's how I voted.
We will see. But undefeated season after winning the national championship, that's going to be tough to do. It's going to be tough to do. Now, the first name in Memphis Italian food is Ronnie Grisani's in Regalia, the Italian favorites, with the crisp, cold Miss Mary salad, lobster fried green tomatoes, the crab stack, Monday through Saturday for lunch. You can also get Ronnie Grisani's catering. Check out the lunch catering guide at ronniegrisani.com. The Elfo special, which I would suggest to anybody, it's so fantastic. The salad, Italian bread, $14 per person. Ronnie Grisani's, they'll bring it to you. 901-850-0191. That's 901-850-0191. Pick up a pan of lasagna at Ronnie Grisani's at Regalia, or check out the bulk menu at ronniegrisani.com. Get your favorites at home. Chicken Alfredo, ravioli, Italian spinach. You can get it curbside, delivery to your door, and the delivery is free within 4 miles of Regalia. The bar, you can get cool. You can stay cool with a cocktail list. Steaks, the 8-ounce gorgonzola and bacon wrap filet. Try it and then thank me later. You can also get it in the High Point Grocery, super low on Spotswood, and Goodman Road, and Buster's Liquors. Make lunch or dinner easy at Ronnie Grisani's, a Memphis tradition since 1909.
And right now, go to Ronnie's, go to the bar area, get you something cool to drink and refreshing after a long, hot day. Bar's open. Go on by and you'll have a blast.
We're going right along. Georgia, we just talked with Anthony Dasher about the reigning national champions. Coming up next, we bring in Nick Roush from Kentucky Sports Radio to talk about Mark Stoops and his team.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain? Listen carefully, because now there are new regenerative treatments available here. Hi, this is Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, is now open, giving lasting relief to people with joint pain, using the latest in precision medicine with natural biologics. It's an exciting non-surgical approach that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints and get you moving again. QC Kinetics has over 100 clinics nationwide and has treated thousands of patients with an incredible success and satisfaction rate. If you've got pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back, you need to check out these new treatments. They can actually help your body restore and repair itself with no downtime, no drugs, no surgery. Call now to schedule your free consultation with the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. 901-445-1010.
Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Do you have nightmares about your finances? Are you struggling to save for emergencies? Are you wanting to buy a home and not sure how to get the funds to do so? Well, it's time to get a handle on your finances with a personalized session with Nicasia, your money coach and certified personal financial counselor with Tate Enterprise. She is available to help you create your vision of financial freedom. It all starts by booking your session today at NicasiaTate.com. That's NAKASIA Tate.com.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Hi, I'm Troy Fivesh, owner of Fivesh Roofing. Sunday, today and today only. And for the first 50 callers. These are things you will never hear me say in my ads. Because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you don't need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get someone's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or products? By overcharging you in the first place. That's how. 5S Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service, and I do it for a fair price, why would I need gimmicks? Best products, best warranties, and the best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. 5S Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5S Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5S Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
I think this is the best chicken I ever had.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
We have some Kentucky football to talk today with our man Nick Roush from Kentucky Sports Radio at Roush KSR. Nick, what's happening, man?
Yeah, good to be on the radio. It's good to meet you down here at SEC Media Days. I love this time of the year. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
We're about to get in the meat and potatoes. You know, we've done a lot of off-season nil and all this, but football time, it's almost here.
And you can't talk basketball every day, even in that basketball crazy Commonwealth.
Well, and that's what Mark Stoops has done. He's brought the football fans to their feet. And it was one of those things, too. People still were going to games even when they were bad, but you just didn't have the pride. And now you're getting those proud Kentucky basketball fans on the football side of things, and you're seeing it trickle down to the high school levels. There's a lot more. On Friday nights, the stadiums are a lot more full.
Right.
You're getting 4-star recruits, signing in Kentucky and Bama and Clemson and all over the place. So it's really, really revitalized football in the state.
And he also has been recruiting better than people give him credit for over the years. Mm-hmm. But what, in your opinion, and I have my opinion on it as well, but what, in your opinion, is his program built on from a position grouping standpoint?
It all starts in the trenches.
Yeah,
it all starts in the trenches with the big hog mollies, and that's that. I still remember the game. It was 2016 at Alabama. Jonathan Allen, now a Washington Commander, he said after the game, I think they won 31-3.
Right.
It's like, you know what though, that we haven't been beat up like that. Like they put us through the ringer, and that really kind of set the tone. That year they rotated 9 offensive linemen.
Right. Yeah.
We're just running in platoons of big guys, and that's the kind of Kentucky fans for the longest time thought you had to win on gimmicks. No, you don't have to win on gimmicks. You just got to punch people in the mouth.
Well, but
blocking and tackling.
And Chris Rodriguez is going to be back for how long is it? Is this 5th year
this
or 6th year?
Be his,
COVID always confuses me these days.
This will be his 5th year, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
It could be 7. We don't know.
He's been there since Fran Kersey was head coach.
But now, instead of it just being trench-based, finally have a quarterback in there that's considered one of the best in the country, and Will Levis.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, too, that Stoops has been unconventional. He's rebuilt without a quarterback. The last time he started a quarterback that was a high school recruit from Kentucky, it was a guy who made it one game, hurt his back. Kentucky lost Southern Miss. So
right.
They've gone to the transfer portal well, and now you have a guy who has all the physical tools that all the NFL draft experts love, and really showed progress throughout that 2021 season. A lot of it was just throwing it to Wan'Dale Robinson and watching him go. So you know that's going to be different this year. But Kentucky's really recruited hard in that wide receiver room to improve it.
Curiously, as far as the NFL draft prospects are concerned for Will Levis, do you buy into that as much as sort of the national media, the NFL draft guys are buying into it?
Yeah, well, especially, you're going to get a lot of Josh Allen comps because he's a big guy who moves really well and can throw the football a mile. Now, to be that guy, he's got to get more accurate. And Josh Allen was a guy that I never thought, you can teach a quarterback to throw more accurate. That never happens. Well, actually, it did with him. It worked with him. And for Will, a lot of Will's incompletions were bad. It was bad decision making.
Yep.
So if you can get more comfortable, that was his first year as a starter too. So now that he's got more reps under his belt, he showed signs of improvement throughout the year. Let's run it back and keep building on that in 2022.
Today is quarterback day. Mm-hmm. Today at the SEC Media Days, Will Levis, KJ Jefferson, Stetson Bennett, Anthony Richardson. The national championship quarterback may have the 4th most powerful arm. Those other 3 cannons.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was talking to Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl, and he was like, two best-looking guys out there were Will Levis and Richardson from Florida. And Richardson has even started a game, So I will say, I forgot who wrote about this, but Kirby Smart has forced the SEC East to really up its game, and you're seeing it with the depth of talent at quarterback this year. And that's not even to mention South Carolina and Spencer Rattler.
The Kirby effect's real. He had the Saban effect. It all really trickles down from Saban that has made the rest of it. Now, he's caused a lot of unemployment for coaches, but he's made the rest of this league great. He hadn't caused unemployment for Mark Stoops.
Yep.
Second in seniority in the SEC.
Yep.
There's Saban, there's Stoops. He should be applauded.
Yeah, 2 more wins, and he's passing a guy by the name of Bear Bryant for most wins at the University of Kentucky.
It took a while.
You know what? I will say, too, he hasn't got fired, but he's gotten a lot of coaches fired. Ed O last year, when Kentucky was playing Colin Baton Rouge at Kroger Field, those LSU boosters, not happy.
Yeah.
I think every Tennessee coach that has lost to Mark Stoops has gotten fired shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Dan Mullen, he lost twice. That second time, that was the last straw.
And he vanquished the Florida thing.
Yeah.
The Kentucky losing to Florida thing's over.
Yeah.
About time.
Discussion point that's come up this offseason with Mark Stoops and his success. How good of a job is Kentucky football? And obviously basketball is always going to overshadow the football program, and the expectations may not be as high as some other places in the SEC. Do you view that as a plus job in today's day and age of college football?
No, certainly. And that wasn't always the case because of the other stuff, because of the facilities and the money from the boosters. But Stoops proved that you can do that at Kentucky, and he's also showing too that. That COVID year they were 5-6 when it was the All SEC schedule, but that was a dip. That was certainly below what your fans' expectations.
Gave away the Ole Miss game.
Yeah. So you had a chance. Fans though were like, okay, this one kind of stunk, but you won a bowl game. You're able to move on. Kentucky fans just want that every few years to have a shot, and that's why this year is so big. The expectations nationally and around the Southeastern Conference might not be as high. But at the University of Kentucky, you see Texas, you see Oklahoma coming over. The East has been kind of down for a while, and they've succeeded because of that. Your window to knock down those dogs, Kirby Smart's talking down there right now, your window to beat them and to get to Atlanta, it's closing. So Kentucky fans, even though expectations are generally tempered and we just like going to a postseason game, this might be the one year that is the exception to that norm.
Nick Roush, our guest from Kentucky Sports Radio, the Matt Jones behemoth that it is. We can't in Memphis, Tennessee, have someone on from Kentucky and not talk basketball not talk John Calipari. Floor's yours. What's their expectations?
Well, I still don't understand the vitriol, though. How many national championships have you been to since John Calipari was gone? Okay,
Nick, you're not making things better.
I'm just saying.
This is not going to be popular.
Yeah. But John Calipari, I wasn't his biggest fan when he was at Memphis. But then he coaches for your team, and you start to fall for that. I was, and now
I'm not. I wonder what happened.
But you do fall for it. He's got that charisma about him, and that's why he's such a good recruiter. And here's the thing.
He drips in it.
And it was – I was fascinated. The last 2 years, the COVID year, they were awful. Yeah. And they had some recruiting misses. But you were like, okay, he made some changes to his coaching staff to recruit better. You saw the changes right away. They bring in guys from the transfer portal that can knock down threes. Then you start getting injuries. And even though you finish the season top 5, you got the National Player of the Year, they get upset the first round. It's the angriest I've ever seen the Big Blue Nation. And I didn't know how Cal could get a swag back. Well, turns out the internet is a little bit different place in the real world because last week, he took some time. He got Oscar Tshiebwe to come back. He's landed the number 3 player in the country in Robert Dillingham. And last week he went and did an autograph tour around the state. And there was people at 95 degrees on a Tuesday afternoon lined up around the Kroger parking lot. 1,000 people ready to get his autograph. So he's still got it, and I do think that we're now at a point where he's trying to hit the reset button one more time, have a couple really good years, and end his career on a high note.
Yeah, we're going to have to stop right there before we get too much and more into John Calipari. We know the folks in Memphis. We know
have
how
fun
they,
with Penny.
Yeah,
have fun with Penny.
Yeah, we know how
enjoy those national title trips with Penny.
Yeah, but Nick, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, happy to be here.
Thank you, Nick.
Don't hold it against Nick too much. Don't hold it. I know a lot of our listeners out there hear that, but he's good people. He's good people. Got to know him. I've gotten to know him this week at SEC Media Days. Now, before we get to hour number 3, there's one place that Memphis has been missing for a while. That place is Bell Tavern. But great news, it is back and it's better than ever. Memphis is a better place because of it. It's open 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday and 2 to 8 p.m. on Sunday. You know about 117 Prime on Union? Cool. 117 Union is where you go. All you do is walk through the dining room of 117 Prime and you access the best bar in Memphis. It's the best place to get your night started with a gourmet bite-to-eat, burgers, sandwiches, and starters, and end your night with the coldest beer in town and craft cocktails that you can only find in Barbaro Alley, tucked in between 2nd and Main. For information daily, call 901-249-6580. That's 901-249-6580. Go to their website, belltavern.com. It is Bell Tavern. Time for a little bit of hog talk. Coming up next, we talk some Arkansas Razorbacks. We bring in Trey Schapp from 103.7 The Buzz to continue on day 3 of SEC Media Days.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
Some of the lawyers who advertise on TV say size matters. Well, at the law office of Steve Leffler, they believe size matters too. That's because when you hire the law office of Steve Leffler personally handles your case. With the big firms, you get whoever they hand your file over to, whether you know anything about them or not. When you hire Steve Leffler, you get Steve Leffler. And oh yeah, just like the big firms, you only pay Steve Leffler if he wins your injury case. Hire Steve Leffler, get Steve Leffler.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. Have you been turned down by your homeowner's insurance in the past 12 months for damage you believe you're owed? Call Brian Elder Roofing now. Our professionals will do a no-obligation, thorough evaluation of your property and document all damage we find. Our fully certified Hague inspectors are trained to identify storm damage to assess and build a full estimate in a language your carrier will understand. If there is no damage found, we will tell you just that. We build a data file of your actual storm damage for your carrier, all at no cost to you, free. So call now for your comprehensive roof guarantee from Brian Elder Roofing. Call us, 867-0303. That's 867-0303, or schedule online at brianelderroofing.com. Because if you think it's a claim, we'll help you show it's a claim.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles, ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Let's talk some numbers here.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
I used to feel so devastated.
The third and final hour of day 3 of SEC Media Days is here on our show, Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. I'm Gabe. He is Stats, and we do have some wonderful sponsors that we have to thank. First National Bank and Trust, Landers, Ford and Collierville, Jason's Deli, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Memphis Tourism, Ronnie Grisani's Gould's, Belly Acres, The Commissary, Golf Sticks Pretzels, and Quick Close Sell.
Our next guest, Trey Schapp from 103.7 The Buzz in Little Rock, and I say this without hesitation, one of the great amateur golfers in our area, soon to be playing in some senior events. maybe coming up, but he can flat play. And I know when the Razorbacks go to Starkville on October 8th, I know the place for Razorback fans to go to. Same place Tiger fans need to go September 3rd. That's the Mossy Oak Golf Club. It's nature's golf, the connection with nature in West Point, Mississippi. I was down there the weekend in 2015 when Ole Miss upset Alabama, and on Saturday morning, one of the true pleasures of my life to walk that course with Gil Hance and Mr. George Bryan and see George Bryan's dream coming true, and they have delivered. The full experience. Guests are greeted with the gentle charm of the region. In partnership with Old Waverly, the two courses deliver an unrivaled experience. We're right across the road from each other. The only location in the Mid-South for two top 100 courses right there in one spot, across the road from each other. Cottages at Mossy Oak open up to the golf course, spacious accommodations. Contact Claire Ferguson right now, Razorback fans, Tiger fans, for those football weekends, and for other fans for any fall grade event. Call Claire at 662-495-5082 or mossyoakgolf.com. Again, Claire Ferguson, Sales and Marketing Manager, 662-495-5082, or go to mossyoakgolf.com.
All right, Trey.
Yeah.
How have you enjoyed the week so far?
Oh, it's been a lot of work,
Yeah.
especially today. I felt like, with Arkansas being here today and obviously us covering the Hog, I felt like, okay, a lot of adrenaline this morning. And then by about 12:30, 1 o'clock, you just felt like, oh, man, I need a nap.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot to digest this morning when you've got KJ Jefferson, Jalen Catalon, bumper pool here, and then, of course, Sam Pittman and what he was able to muster up. And I think maybe so far the highlight of Media Days.
I sure think so, and what Sam Pittman has accomplished and his charm, his personality. I said earlier, I don't know if anybody in the industry loves him more than national champion coach Kirby Smart. Who's dealt with Sam Pittman that didn't fall in love with him, Trey? And it's very infectious, and he has calmed the waters in Razorback football land. And they were rough for a while. Jeff Long
destroyed it.
John L. Smith, Brett Bielema, and Chad Morris, they almost killed it dead.
Yeah, and Brett Bielema, he won some, but I think what happened was after that win against Texas in the Houston Bowl, Jeff Long's like, okay, well, we got to lock this guy down. We got to give him a big contract. And what, the $24 million buyout, it was like $18 million buyout. And so I think Brett Bielema was like, oh shoot, I don't have to really do a whole lot. And if they want to get rid of me, I got money in the bank.
Right.
And Hunter Yurchek comes in and he's like, we're not going to work like that. If you can't win football games, you're not doing your job well. You should be able to be let go. And we shouldn't have to pay you everything. That's why Sam Pittman's new contract, if he's got a losing record, he doesn't get the full amount. He gets like half of it. So there's an incentive for him to coach well, recruit well, and try and win football games.
And, Trey, I'm not kidding you. Obviously, I played at the University of Memphis, so I played Chad Morris coached SMU teams. I could have told whoever was making that hire, don't do it. Don't let that happen.
Julie Cromer. Yeah, you needed a bat phone to Julie Cromer.
To see that and how bad it was to where it is right this second. You don't see programs turn around this fast. You just don't.
No,
especially in the SEC.
Well, and what Sam Pittman did, and let's think about this too. He came in his first year, COVID hits, and he's got a 10-game SEC-only schedule to play.
Right.
And what was already a tough schedule, they threw Georgia on to open and a game at Florida, and yes, stats, the losing streak. So what happens? They're leading Georgia at halftime of that first game, and everybody's like, holy cow, what is going on? Is this COVID? Is this what? Is it Georgia not caring, thinking that, well, they haven't won a game in 2 years in the league, maybe we can just roll into Fayetteville and win? They come back and they win, and then it's the next week where we saw Mississippi State just destroy LSU. I was staying right there in the cottages. I played Old Waverly that morning before that game. Because the game was a late kickoff, so I was able to get up at 7:30. Played with my brother buddy Richard Reed from Starkville. That's a member there, and Arkansas goes in there and wins by a touchdown. Everybody's like, "Whoa, what has Sam Pittman just done?" And then to win 3 games with that schedule, everybody thought was masterful. And
no doubt,
they probably would have beaten TCU in the bowl game if TCU wouldn't have come down with COVID. I mean, they were on the buses to go to the airport. And they got called off.
Had already handed out the box lunches.
Yes.
I mean, getting on the bus.
Stats, I was 3 hours from getting on a plane to go to Houston.
COVID.
So, and then to see what he did last year by getting them to the Outback Bowl, 9 wins.
Right.
They struggled against Auburn, should have won that game, had a chance to beat Ole Miss if they get the 2-point conversion. So it could have been 10, 11 wins. Maybe in just his second year.
Scored, you lose by 1. You easily could have won.
Yes, I mean, yes. There's so many other things besides the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, Georgia got them good. I got a little ahead of my skis that
I think everybody did.
Same thing for Ole Miss that weekend going to Alabama. I got a little ahead of myself, but Sam Pittman has made his mark known, and now with KJ Jefferson and coming back for this year. What he did to Penn State, if he's in tip-top shape, and he appears to be.
He looks good.
Look out. He could have that big year.
Well, and they open with Cincinnati, and we know what Cincinnati did last year. Got into the first team to get in the college football playoff out of a non-Power 5. They did lose quite a bit, though, off of that team.
Right.
And they've got them in Fayetteville at home, 2:30 in the afternoon. You think it's going to be hot up there? 2:30 in the afternoon.
You want it hot, don't
you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You want it hot and muggy as all get out if you're Arkansas.
I
agree.
As our good friend Bill Vickery on the Sunday Buzz would say, on those hot games for him, it's 72 and partly vodka in the box.
It always is. It always is for Bill Vickery. Yes. Maybe 73 and a 0.5 if they got a window open
but he's
in the skybox.
Yeah.
But and then you got South Carolina coming in. Okay, winnable game. I mean, you don't maybe.
Big-time opponent, though.
Big-time opponent.
Look,
Spencer Rattler at quarterback. Right. I get that, but it's still a home game. It's an early game, 11 a.m., and then you have Missouri State coming in, former coach Bobby Petrino, and probably a win there. And then you go to Arlington for the game against Texas A&M.
And the whole country will be pulling for the Razorbacks. Everybody's turning on A&M truck.
And especially what happened last year. Arkansas goes in there. They beat the Aggies. And you look at that stat, you're 4-0, and who do you have coming in? Bama.
Prime
to Fayetteville.
I mean this lovingly and jokingly. Razorback fans, don't get mad at me. What I'd pay if Bobby Petrino led Missouri State out on the field on a motorcycle.
Oh, well, I will tell you this. I don't know if everybody knows, but there's this bike festival that happens every year in Northwest Arkansas called Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. I believe it is the same weekend as the Missouri State game.
You're
yes.
kidding.
That's great.
Yes. They've moved it away from Dixon Street in Fayetteville. I think it's in Rogers, which is about 30 miles away.
Special guest Bobby Petrino.
But
We're on to something here.
Neck brace is optional.
Yes. Yes. And Sugar Bowl hat.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I think that is the weekend. I would have to Google it real quick, but I believe that is the weekend of Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is the Missouri State game.
That's fantastic. Now, Sam Pittman. A lot of people give credit to his coordinators, and they should.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Odom and Kendall Browse have done a fantastic job. But what I saw today of him at the podium taking questions about Barry Odom and Kendall Browse, he gives credit to them too. He says, and he admits, which I love. It's so refreshing to hear a coach, because we know how coaching. It's a prideful profession. Like a lot of guys think they're, doesn't stink, right? And he was up there saying, I'm not a finished product. A guy like Barry Odom helps me a whole lot along the way because he's been in these shoes and he knows how it is.
I'm telling you, guys, stats, Gabe, you guys know coaches that can't get their head through those doors down here to get in on this football field here at the College Football Hall of Fame. Sam Pittman's not that guy. Sam Pittman has no issue about giving credit where credit is due, to the players, to the assistant coaches, and if it doesn't work out, what does he say? It's my fault.
Yep.
He took blame on the Auburn game today, said it's my fault. I didn't have him prepared. I asked him when we had him on this afternoon, I said, when you self-scout, what do you look for? And he says, I look for tendencies. He said, last year, we might have went for it a couple of too many times on fourth down. He goes, now Lane Kiffin does it all the time, and maybe he's into analytics and everything. He goes, I'm more of a gut guy, a feel guy. What's the game feel like? He goes, I've just decided if you can't make it on 3rd and 1, that doesn't tell me you're going to be able to make it on 4th and 1, so we're probably not going to go for it on 4th and 1. Now, the game situation might dictate where we are on the field. Is it plus? Is it minus? Do we go for it here? But I don't see them making the game decision mistakes that he took blame for this year that happened last year. And I think that's where you talk about taking the blame and giving credit to the others. He'll take the blame if they lose, but he's going to push all the credit on the players and the assistant coaches when they win.
Trey, when does Coach Pittman and Hunter Yurachek, the athletics director, when is the football scheduling all theirs? They're not having to make up for anything that Jeff and his team did, because October 15th at Provo against BYU, that's no favor to your head coach.
No, well, I think it's coming soon, but I know for sure that there's a series with Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
There's a series with Oklahoma State. They still have to play their series with Notre Dame, and that begins in 25. And here's the thing. That 25 schedule, we're all sitting here wondering what in the world is going on with 25 because of Texas and OU coming in. Arkansas, right now, their non-conference schedule in 2025 is scheduled to be Memphis, Missouri State, Notre Dame, and Arkansas State in Little Rock at One Memorial Stadium.
That's right.
So who are you going to move off of there? You're not going to move Notre Dame, I don't think. Now, if they go to a 9-game conference schedule, maybe you ask Notre Dame to move, but Notre Dame might just say, well, we need to get out of it altogether. Notre Dame might be in a conference by then. We don't know.
SEC.
They might be in the SEC by then. We don't know. But yeah, I think that it's starting to get to where they're getting to the point where, okay, those games are starting to fall off. I think there's a game with Utah. A series with Utah even scheduled, if memory serves me.
Was Jeff Long.
Oh, my gosh. Goodness. But, yeah, I'm going to love – actually, my wife and I are going to take some extra days when we go out to Provo. So we're going to go out there early and stay, I think, a day late because the Cowboys play that Sunday afternoon on the road. So we're going to watch it from the hotel, from the mountains, wherever, maybe Park City, who knows.
Right.
But, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that trip. Never been out to Provo, but I think that's going to be a fun
I've never
one.
been to Utah.
I might even take my golf clubs.
Oh,
they got a mossy oak out there?
Not as good.
Probably some good views out there, though, on a golf course. I'll tell you that.
Guarantee you. And it'll be one of the most physical games of the year. And BYU likes to give a little something at the bottom of the pile, too.
I know about all that. Yeah. I know about that.
Gabe and the Memphis Tigers, in any football fight, Trey, whoever wins the game wins the fight. And the Tigers won the game. And
they may have gave a little
BYU.
extra. We gave a little extra too. At the end of Miami Beach Bowl. Hey, there's give and take to this whole thing.
I have a feeling
though, got lit up there.
I bet, but I have a feeling that the contract calls for SEC officials to go to Provo,
right?
Because that's typically the norm when you
Is that
travel.
always a good thing?
Well, I don't know.
Did you talk to John McDade about
Not
it?
yet.
Yeah.
But I do have a question for John McDade, and that would be when this might ruffle some feathers with Stats, you and your friends. Mm-hmm. But when you see Lane Kiffin on video, on the camera, and he's caught during a game telling a player, go down.
Yeah, it's got to
come on.
It's got to end. That has to end. We've talked about it a lot. It's time to set that player out for a rest of a series, the rest of a quarter, whatever it's going to take to stop that. Now, we always need to be conscious of injury.
It could be a true injury, but if it's a true injury, then –
But that gamesmanship has to go.
I agree.
It's so tough, but again,
it is tough to regulate.
In the heat of the moment, it's so hard to.
But you played the game.
But
I mean,
I agree with you.
You're going to go down?
And I was in a tempo offense. I used to be frustrated beyond all get out when dudes are.
Did
just
y'all have a sniper?
Down.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have on offense, but on defense you would.
Oh, not on offense. We would have dudes on our defense that would fall down against UCF when Josh Heupel was the whole thing, but. It's just so hard to regulate.
It is hard to regulate.
Now, I do agree with him for the whole drive. If you're hurt, you're hurt.
Come stay on the sideline.
I agree.
For your safety.
Yeah. But here's the question. When you have that person that's dictated to be the guy, is it after let's say they pick up 15 yards and they get a first down and we're having to try and catch up. Is that when you go down? Is it predicated on how far the game was or how much we're going to have to catch up?
You never know when that sniper is going to fire.
No,
I mean,
you don't.
You bring up Ole Miss and the Razorbacks and that Lulu last year. Great games.
The great Ole Miss and Arkansas games that had. We had Cutcliffe on today, and he said if he would have had a gun, he would have taken out Matt Jones. In that 7 overtime game.
No doubt. And David Cutcliffe knows that rivalry. In fact, Ole Miss has only won 2 times ever at Fayetteville since Arkansas joined the SEC. One, Cut was head coach. The other, Houston Nutt return game in 08. That game this year, November 19th.
Could be snowing, could be sleet, could be 80 degrees.
Probably be 34. Why won't both sides? Both are as guilty. I'm not assigning blame to one more than the other.
Agree.
Why won't those fans recognize it's a great rivalry?
I don't know stats.
They're so reluctant to. Both sides. Ole Miss, LSU, and rattle off the rest of them. Arkansas, they have their rivalries. They will not admit, that's a really good college football rivalry.
It is, and maybe it is time that the fan base does look at it and say, you know what? That is a pretty good rivalry. I think they're stuck on the fact that Jeff Long helped move LSU off the day after Thanksgiving. And I understand why, because of Texas A&M. But that had been going on for a while, and you had a trophy game created off of that.
Sure did.
And now they've pushed this new trophy game on you with Missouri and Arkansas, the battle line.
Yeah.
And the only person who cares is Dave Basil because he created the trophy. But I just think that they're still a little bit hurt over that LSU. And I know you've got the Golden Egg, you've got the Magnolia Bowl.
And that's a little forced.
And so, yeah, it is. But when you have Arkansas and Ole Miss as close as they are, I think that could be one. Now, here's my question to you two. Let's say when Texas and OU come in, they push Alabama and Auburn to the east, and they just cut the line right there. And now you've got Texas and OU, and Arkansas is playing them every year.
I like it.
Texas and Arkansas – there's the history.
Do you think it will be a line cut or it'll just be one, won't be east-west? You think it?
Well, I don't think they're going to have divisions. But if they were, then I think it would be a line cut right there. You move Alabama, Auburn to the east. Auburn could – that keeps that game with Alabama intact, the Iron Bowl. It also keeps their game with Georgia intact.
I love Sam Pittman's candor today. He asked about 3 permanent opponents. He said Texas, OU, and Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In proximity, you should.
Right. And, the game at A&M in Arlington is ending soon, so why not?
Mm-hmm. Our guest, Trey Schapp from 103.7 The Buzz. Last thing for you. I've wondered about this from an X's and O standpoint on offense. No Traylon Burks this year.
Yep.
And watching that team last year and watching that offense go, KJ Jefferson, he had his moments throwing the ball. Overall, though, there was a lot of improvement that was needed. And Traylon Burks was just the perfect safety blanket. Just couldn't ask for better.
You saw him run away from that Alabama 5-star defense.
Yeah. What do you think about the wide receiver core this year, and do you think they can stack up and at least try to replace a little bit of the production that Traylon Burks left behind?
One guy's not going to do it. It's going to have to be a committee.
Yeah.
And Trey Knox has put on some weight to play the tight end position. He's a guy that's got great hands, and they've gone to the portal, and they brought in some guys that I think are going to be good at the receiver core. But like I said, you can't do it with one person. It's going to have to be a group effort, and KJ feels confident in the guys. They've been working out all summer. And as long as KJ feels confident in it, which he's a guy that has a lot of confidence. Especially when you come out of Sardis, Mississippi, you have to.
I love his family setting.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And so And I did ask him today, outside of Cincinnati, because I know you've been coached up to that, what game are you looking forward to the most? He goes, you mean outside of Cincinnati? I said, yes, outside of Cincinnati. He goes, Ole Miss.
Yeah, especially after last year. But Trey, appreciate you stopping by, man.
Yeah, man, it's always good to be on with you guys.
We'll catch up a bunch. Will we see you at the FedEx St. Jude Classic in August?
I will actually. I hate to tell you this. I'm going to be in the Bahamas.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Do you hate to tell him that?
I hate to tell you that because the way I'm getting there and everything, a good friend.
Plug your golf podcast.
Oh, yeah, from the short grass. Every Wednesday on the Buzz 2, and then every Friday morning on 103.7 The Buzz from 5:30 to 6. But you can find it wherever you find your podcast. Great guest this week, Anna Kate Nichols, a little junior golfer in the state of Arkansas, very good, a lineage in her family. I mean, she came out of the womb basically swinging a golf club because of her dad, Joey. But I got Eli Drinkwitz down here. I got Barrett Bannister, wide receiver at Missouri, that played in the Arkansas Amateur this year, believe it or not. So he's got aspirations of doing
Played
good.
high school football for the Purple Dogs, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And then Austin Oaf, who is a real good amateur champion, two-time amateur champion in Arkansas, went to Purdue to play golf, became an assistant coach at Rutgers, then back at Purdue. He just was hired as the head coach at UCA, so he's on coming up. And then I'm in the works with some others that are coming up. Stacy Lewis, I'm sitting down with her next week. So
good stuff.
Good
awesome
stuff. Coming.
Well, appreciate it, man.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We'll get stats on soon, too.
I'd love to. Trey Schapp from 103.7 The Buzz, great golfer, great college football analyst, and great guest and great friend of mine. Thank you, Trey. We appreciate it so much. This hour of our show brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales, where all the cars are test-driven, all checked out thoroughly, bumper to bumper, head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot, they'll find that special car just for you. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. You're treated like family by a kind, courteous staff, down-home environment, no high-pressure sales. They care about your time. They want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. You walk in, you find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork completed, you're out of there in 45 minutes or less. It's a guarantee. They know we live in a world today that time matters, and that's why they have it streamlined and simplified for you. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. DeSoto Auto Sales, online at DeSotoAutoSales.com and at 5704 Goodman Road. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
You know how it goes. It's right on to the next, and we have to talk about one more team today that showed themselves. Billy Napier's first SEC Media Days. We talk some Florida when we come back with our friend Mark McLeod.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Got chronic joint pain? Not having success with steroids, but trying to avoid surgery? Well, thankfully, there's a better way. And it's now available here from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Hi, this is Greg Gaston. I'm talking about new therapies, advanced all-natural biologics, regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue, providing lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in precision regenerative medicine with over 100 clinics across America and literally thousands of satisfied patients. If you've got joint pain due to arthritis, knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, don't just think the old ways of dealing with pain are the only ways. You need to learn more about these new biologic therapy options that can change your life. Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation with local medical professionals. Call 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics, 901-445-1010.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do.
Is there a room in your house that never seems to cool or heat the way you think it should? Then a Mitsubishi ductless system may be a solution for you. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Ductless systems are relatively new to the United States, but Mitsubishi ductless systems are a proven energy saver because the system does not have any ductwork, so it can blow colder air in the summer and warmer air in the winter. Mitsubishi's inverter-driven compressors automatically adjust to your cooling or heating demands to deliver ideal comfort while only using the energy that is needed. No more, no less. Do you have a bonus room, sunroom, or master bedroom that never cools right? Maybe a new addition to your home or a garage you want heated or cooled. Now you can do it efficiently. Call Choates today at 755-4797 or visit our website at choateshvac.com to schedule your free estimate. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
It's time to get road trip ready, and we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the Pike. Let's get 41 MPG Highway in 2022 Kia Forte LSX, $199 a month. Pack some fun in 2023 Kia Soul LX, $248 a month. Both 36-month lease and $27.99 to its signing. And get 3 rows and 7 seats with 2022 Kia Sorento LX, $399. 36-month lease and $34.99 to its signing. And all Gossett Kias come equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warrant. New adventures need a new ride. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
650 acquisition fee, 30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte NE 492,084, MSRP 21,065. Sold P718,7730, MSRP 21,720. Sorrento NG 137,060, MSRP 32,595. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/1/22. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
I couldn't believe it either, but that thing runs like new.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
My nail tech knows how to keep it a little secret.
Day 3 of SEC Media Days, and Mark McLeod joins us from News Talk 102.1 WFOY in Florida to talk about the Florida Gators. Year 1 with Billy Napier, and it's a new era. It absolutely is.
It is, and it's exciting. I think the future of Florida football looks much better than what we were looking at a couple years ago. I mean, in terms of facilities, support staff, Billy's gotten a lot of the things I think that he wanted. I think Billy's gotten a lot of things that Jim McElwain wanted,
right,
and wasn't able to get. So, I think it's a new day at Florida, and the future looks pretty good.
Is it a good team with Scott Strickland and Billy Napier? Because we know Jeremy Foley, he was kind of the constant in a lot of good teams. What's the AD football coach team like?
I think it's good. I think there's, you want to go through that first season so you can see, okay, where's some bumps in the road and how do they address it,
Right.
I still think there's a lot to be determined there, Brett, but thus far I think it looks good because, again, he's gotten a lot of support staff in there, and there are a lot of changes that desperately needed to be made in Gainesville.
I think in the history of ADs, I think Frank Broyles is the most legendary AD of all time. To do what he did in sleepy little old Fayetteville. Then after that, what Jeremy Foley did at Florida. Now, a lot of people go, well, anybody can do it at Florida. Well, so far, his successor really hadn't.
Yeah, and he did it across the board. He did it across men's sports, women's sports.
Olympic sports.
He made a lot of good hires, and there have been a lot of division titles. There have been a lot of SEC titles,
a lot of rings
in Gainesville for various sports. Women's basketball has had their struggles since Carol Ross left, certainly. But when you look at across the board, I think it's good. The one area where Foley really could have done a better job is facilities, and now Florida's playing catch up because of that.
Yeah, and. As far as a welcome gift is concerned for Billy Napier, Game 1 against Utah. What do you think about that matchup, and what do you think we're actually going to see out of that matchup?
A team that went to the Rose Bowl last year.
Yeah. And just every year with Kyle Whittingham. Copy and paste, you know what you're getting.
And Florida knows him.
Oh, yeah. He was off the Urban Meyer tree. So, Florida knows a bit about Utah, and I think it's going to be a difficult game. I think I think Utah's pretty happy that it's not a 1 o'clock kickoff,
right,
or noon kickoff. But it's going to be very humid. It's going to be hot. It's going to be something that they didn't experience many years ago, guys. I was at the Florida Southern Cal game, and I mean, the Southern Cal players after the game, and then really even in the stands, I remember talking to some of the fans. They said, we left in the third quarter. We couldn't handle that. That was a daytime kickoff on September 3rd or whatever it was, September 4th. But much the same scenario, only you get a night game here. I think it's going to be a difficult one, and there's so many questions for Florida, guys.
Right.
Anthony Richardson has to step up. He's a key part of what's going on at Florida. He's got to step up. He's got to develop, make better decisions with the football, and let's face it, he's got, cut down on some of the mistakes, and it's going to be big on him. The offensive line, do they develop? It's a veteran group, largely, for the 5, and then certainly the defense, has to play better than they did under the former coordinator, and really got to get some things going, because Todd Grantham did not do a very good job the past 2 years at Florida. That's putting it mildly.
Do you think that the what we saw the back half of last year, do you think that was more on just defensive coordination? Do you think that was on sort of what was in place? Or do you think that was sort of a checkout factor in a certain sense? Because you just saw that team when it didn't go right.
Yep.
They just sort of didn't play as
Lay
hard,
down.
didn't feel as great, and that adversity just seemed to hit them a lot different than it did the teams they played.
You're right. I think there were some guys on that team that started checking out back in 2020. When the skid right at the end of that season didn't go well, I think you saw some guys checking out. I think you saw some guys, even maybe more so, questioning Grantham and what's going on with the defense. And in some cases, maybe even questioning what's going on with the offense. It's just
right.
It was a very difficult. It's been a very difficult time since the end of 2020, toward the end of that 2020 season.
Hard to believe how it finished for both Jim McElwain and for Dan Mullen. Florida, unbelievably, Mark, kind of chewing through the coaches.
They are. With the McElwain, the whole Georgia week, you just shook your head and went, what? I mean, that was unbelievable. And then you get to Mullen, and you look at his record. Look at his record right up until around, game 8, game 9 of the 2020 season, and you're going, wow, this looks great. But if you were tuned into recruiting, you were in year 2, year 3 of going, we're going to have some problems down the road. And that's where they are now. You made a comment about the roster and personnel-wise, the depth chart. I mean, there are a lot of guys on that roster that are playing in a reserve role that we just don't know enough about. And really the question that I've been asking people who are high on Florida fans in my area, I've said, okay, go through the preseason all-SEC team. In any given year under Spurrier, Meyer, maybe a couple other coaches here and there in any year. But right now, tell me who those all-SEC guys are.
Right.
And they struggle to come up with more than 1 or 2 guys.
Now, do you think Billy Napier in his first offseason has sort of passed the test? I mean, because that was the question. That was the conversation around Dan Mullen is, okay, he doesn't embrace recruiting. Has Billy Napier done that?
I think he has to a degree. I don't think he got what he wanted in the transfer portal. I think he wanted a little more. I don't think there have been some bumps in the recruiting road as well, but I think overall with how far Florida was behind and what they needed to do, he's done a pretty good job overall of managing and really trying to establish those relationships in with the assistant coaches and the head coaches in the high school world and tried to establish Florida.
No easy September for the Gators. We talked about Utah on opening day. Week 2, Kentucky with Will Levis, and he's here today. Mm-hmm. The 4 quarterbacks represented here today. That's something, all 4 of these guys. Then week 3, South Florida, big in-state battle. That's their Super Bowl. I know people get offended when you say that about the lesser team playing the big state school, but it is. And then the Tennessee Vols in Knoxville.
It's a tough month. I think, what I've been saying, Brett, is we're going to learn a lot about Florida in that first month. The running back room at Florida is good. Offensive line, again, you return 4 or 5. Is that going to help Richardson? Can they get that offensive line going and get a run
now for 3-1, wouldn't you?
I would. In fact, I've told Florida fans what I've been saying is if if Napier wins 8 games, you should be happy because injuries happen during the college football season, as we all know. But if some of those guys aren't ready, and we know what that roster is, it's not fully stocked. It's got a lot of holes. There's issues for the Gators.
Gators go 8-4. They are the only one of the 14 right now, the 14 SEC member institutions to never play in Memphis in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. That would be fun to have the Florida Gators. And in year one of Billy Napier, the fans would accept that. They would be pleased with that. That would be fun to come to Memphis.
They should be. I mean, you have some of the fringe that, Florida's going to win 10 games. No, they're not. They're not. If they win 8, you should be dancing in the streets and be happy because Dan Mullen left a lot of holes on this Florida roster.
Mm-hmm. Now, last thing. The Anthony Richardson hype is huge. And you talked about it. You said he needs to cut down on mistakes. He needs to become that guy. In your heart of hearts, do you believe he can be that guy? Year one coming out with Billy Napier leading the charge for him.
I think he can. He is so athletic. He's got such a big arm. I think that, Dan Mullen kept telling us last year he's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready. Well, another year to and this is a bit of a different offense.
Right.
So, I'm going to be real curious like all of us are and all of the Gator Nation is about let's see how much Napier is willing to put on the table and does he stretch that throughout the season to where Richardson can manage it.
Mm-hmm. He is Mark McLeod from WFOY Radio. Mark, appreciate you joining us.
Hey, always good to be on with you guys.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks to Mark for joining us here on Radio Row or at Radio Row in Atlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame. And the truth of the matter is with Florida, I think they're one of the more unknown teams as far as what we're going to see in production and what we're going to see in a win total this season. 7.5 is what Vegas has set them at. I will say.
I go over.
I will say. I went down, sort of saw what Anthony Richardson had to say, saw how big he was, 6'4",
Impressive.
all of it, 220 pounds. I mean, he is all of that. But I was listening to what he had to say to the press, and the one thing that kept coming up was this more confidence. He said, what's different between last year and this year? I was a true freshman. Now I'm moving forward. He said, I have more confidence in what I can do and who I am this year. So I think the potential is there for him, but he's got to capitalize on it.
Yeah, he does. I would go over, and I would love to see them in Memphis finally playing in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And Gator fans, I think, would have a big time, would really enjoy Memphis and coming to town and playing that. Any coach's first bowl experience, they never forget that. Kirby Smart's first bowl experience was in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl and was a win over TCU, one of our many great SEC sponsors, and will be with us at the golf tournament, the FedEx St. Jude Classic. It's First National Bank and Trust. They have roots in Eastern Arkansas as a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, but now firmly in West Tennessee. Eastern Arkansas's largest independently owned bank now in West Tennessee is First National Bank and Trust, with offices at 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, 901-498-5763, and in Collierville. First National Bank and Trust, they focus on their clients, their customers in the Mid-South for all their banking needs, personal banking, business banking, online banking, and that mobile app. Courage and confidence, it's been on display by First National Bank and Trust officers throughout its history. In good times and in challenging times, First National Bank and Trust, they've been recognized as one of the most progressive banking institutions in the country. Commercial, residential, recreational, customers rely on First National Bank and Trust because they know real estate. Call 901-498-5763 or contact Brooks Winchester or any member of the great First National Bank and Trust team.
And we're so happy First National Bank and Trust has sponsored us on the way down here to Atlanta. Also Landers Ford and Collierville, Jason's Deli, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Memphis Tourism, Ronnie Grisani's, Gould's, Belly Acres, The Commissary, Golf Sticks Pretzels, and Quick Close Sell. This Wednesday edition, third day SEC Media Days right here on Radio Row in the College Football Hall of Fame is about to come to an end. Let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, Taco Bell Crunch Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together. It's time for another season of golf at Miramichi. You know the spot, 15 minutes north of downtown in Woodstock. I call it heaven. It's 330 acres of natural beauty, 7,400 yards of championship-level golf, but there are several different tee boxes which make it fun or competitive for every level of golf. And the practice facilities are as good as any country club, and every round of golf comes with a cart and complimentary range balls. You can really improve your game, and you'll love the prices, too. Seniors can play Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for as low as $33. Again, the golf cart and the range balls are thrown in. The standard weekday rates are as low as $44. Friday, it's $50, and on Sunday, it's $55. You'll love the view from the terrace. You look out and see the best view in all of Shelby County. The whole experience, it's just fantastic. Go check it out yourself at Miramichi.
There are a lot of people today that say they will buy your home, but there's one company that follows through every time. When you want to make a deal for real money, go with the Real Deal guys who will make you money. Go with Quick Close Sell Memphis. Quick Close Sell will respect you with a solid offer. No matter the property, no matter the situation, Quick Close Sell will pay you a fair price quickly and easily. For a no-obligation offer, go to QuickCloseSell.com, and Frank will call you right away. That's QuickCloseSell.com before you sell your home.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Sunrise Buick GMC is having their annual tent sale, and the selection and savings are bigger than ever. A huge selection to choose from, big discounts and factory rebates high as $2,000. It's okay if you've got slow credit. Sunrise has over $100 million available for immediate financing with interest low as 0%. An $18 million used car inventory. And remember, Sunrise specializes in cars and trucks under $10,000. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Savings and fun for all ages. The 34th annual tent sale going on at all Sunrise locations. Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
In the alley since 1948, Mr. Charlie Virgo's world-famous Rendezvous. John, you and your family continue the great work at the Rendezvous. Next year will be the 75th birthday party. Let's start the party now.
Brett, there are so many visitors in town to watch the emerging Grizzlies and to see our great sights and sounds in Memphis. I see them all the time at the restaurant. I want them to know Memphis is a great foodie town. There are so many family-owned, locally-owned great restaurants that have stood the test of time. I won't mention all because the list is too long and I don't want to leave anybody out, but I will mention Jim's Place Grill because my cousins own it. It's a great restaurant and they've stood the test of time, and they are this year celebrating their 100th anniversary. And of course, any visitor that comes to Memphis needs to eat barbecue. And I've said this before, there's great barbecue all over Memphis. I know because I eat it. But if you just have one night to eat barbecue in Memphis, it should be the Rendezvous. It's such a special place with a special staff. And by the way, next year we will be celebrating our 75th anniversary.
The world-famous Rendezvous, serving Memphis in the Mid-South and with the shipping serving the world.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
You drove it, you love it. What more do you need to know?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye. Hello, Haskell. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Brett, what I learned today, I know where we're at. I know we're on Radio Row in Atlanta, at the College Football Hall of Fame, at SEC Media Days, but my Tigers are on the move. Memphis football, 2 more 2023 commits the past 2 days. They now sit at number 49 nationally in football recruiting, according to Rivals. Just 2 behind last year's recruiting class, which, if you pay attention to recruiting history, was the highest rated, according to Rivals, in program history. So Coach Silverfield's clearly doing a good job over there. But the two commits were Malachi Breland from Laurel, Mississippi, 6'3", 340-pound guard, and Arion Carter from Smyrna, Tennessee, 6'1", 210-pound running back.
That would be that would be December signees. I bet they'll be in school in spring semester. He is tearing it up. It's why very important to have a great year this year for Coach Silverfield's Tigers. I learned Arkansas head coach Sam Pittman, another offensive line coach like Coach Silverfield. He called 911. He answered the 911 call for the Razorbacks. Then he got them to the emergency room. He got the patient stabilized. Then he got them moved to a private room, and now in full recovery. And that was almost the impossible for Razorbacks football. Losing streak had gotten very ugly. They're on the mend, and now a good fall ahead of them, and it's why you have to keep that momentum going. Number 2 in the West for Arkansas. There will be a lot of votes for that. I can't wait to see how this voting is done.
Mm-hmm. What I could have done without, and I'm sorry, this will get graphic, but this is what I could have done without today. Miles Bridges, 3 felony accounts after being accused of assaulting his girlfriend in front of their 2 children last month. 1 felony account of injuring a child's parent, and 2 felony accounts of child abuse under circumstances or conditions likely to cause great bodily injury or death. Now, there are a lot of cases I will not speak on because you get your day in court. But I just can't do that here. There is a video out there that has surfaced of his child talking about mommy being abused and hurt. I can't handle this. I just can't. And I hope for peace for her and their children. I hope justice is served. It really hurts me to see all this. And I know that the conversation originally when this came out was about timing and about Miles Bridges and his contract.
Heck with that.
It's so irrelevant. It's about the human perspective. This is a very, very sad story that's coming out about Miles Bridges and his girlfriend.
And that will stay with those little children, that image, that visual, the rest of their life. That's sad. Back to Sam Pittman. If he finished in the end of this year, second in the West, that's landslide Coach of the Year stuff in the league.
Have to, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
A coach you know well, Coach Mike Norvell, FSU, they play week 0, so guess what? They start practice next week. How hot will it be in Tallahassee next week?
Miserable, and I promise you he'll work them. I promise you he will. He'll have tempo drill after tempo drill. He'll have them going station to station.
Pick up the pace.
Yeah, it'll be a fun fall camp for them.
It will be hot on them for getting ready for week 0. Week 1, they play LSU in that highly anticipated game at the Superdome in New Orleans. I love this stuff. I'm glad we start early. I'm glad the college football countdown's on. Today was day 39 to week 0, but next week, football practice in Tallahassee. That's too early.
It is too early, but he's got to turn the corner this year. He doesn't really have to. He doesn't have time to wait. Just truth be told, and I think he's done decent on the recruiting trail, and he's tried to instill a culture. But those fans in Tallahassee, they're rabid. They'll get you out of a job if you don't live up to their standards. What we're looking forward to tonight on the sports front, we are like thin. I think is an understatement. ESPYs?
Yes.
ESPY Awards tonight. Steph Curry hosting.
Okay.
He's up for Best Men's Sports Athlete. I think he won it, actually. I think they already said it. So he'll give himself an award.
How come golf's not doing live from the 3M? We need it tonight.
John Morant's up for an award tonight. Yeah. Best breakthrough, I should say. Easy for me to say.
Go Ja.
Athlete. So Ja, Jonathan Taylor, Eileen Gu, who's the skier for the Chinese national team, got gold medal. And then Trinity Rodman, Washington Spirits of the National Women's Soccer League.
Okay, so it's not tonight. This is the universal slowest day of the year in sports for live action. We won't have this day again for another year, hopefully, no days off. But tomorrow afternoon, before we're back, a lot of afternoon baseball, a lot of it makeup brand, doubleheader tomorrow in Houston, and I don't know why, because I know the Astros weren't rained out at home. It must have been in New York, and this is the only spot to make it up. Day-night doubleheader for Astros and Yankees tomorrow in Houston, first game, Central Time, 12:10. Also, the Rangers at Marlins tomorrow afternoon at 12:10. I'm ready for some afternoon baseball. After tonight, I'm ready for any live sports.
And, Bryant can appreciate this. Know what I'm looking forward to, and I'm looking towards? Matthew Tkachuk of the Flames is asking out. He's not going to re-sign long-term. Hey, he's a great player. Maybe he may get traded to a good place where his dad
Blues
played.
Great Keith Tkachuk.
He could be.
We also have the basketball tournament tonight. That's something you can gamble on if you have to get your fix in tonight.
Wait, you can gamble on that?
You can? Of course you can gamble on it.
Really?
Yeah, I've already done it.
On what? This seems like just normal FanDuel?
I'm on DraftKings. Sure? I'm sure you can do it on FanDuel.
Or with a man.
I'm on all of them, so I just kind of go and find whatever I can bet on.
I was going to say, is this one of those betonline.ag?
No, I'm not doing offshore stuff.
Hey, Charlie, what do you got tonight on the basketball?
No.
Come on, Brian.
No, it's on FanDuel. Yeah, you can get it on FanDuel right now.
I hear you. But that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us from day 3 of SEC Media Days. Thanks to all of our wonderful guests, Alex Kuhn, John Goen, Anthony Dasher, Nick Roush, Trey Shepp, Mark McLeod as well. Tomorrow is the 4th and final day of SEC Media Days. Tennessee, Auburn, A&M get their turn, and we will have coverage for it all. For Brett, for Brian, I'm Gabe. Enjoy your night and be safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here from Radio Row in Atlanta.